What's happening, guys? Jonah once again doing some other stuff, getting ready to do that. But very happy to have Javen with us once again, providing some NMSU insight. Today we have a great episode for you guys. Went over some baseball, some softball, had some golf. We have the men who are playing right now as we speak, and then the women will be going up a little bit in a week or so. So happy Easter! Hope you guys enjoy. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to NM Prep Co Sports at Substack.com. Jonah is providing great insight into all athletics, and we have a banger of an episode for you guys. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to Emilio Marquez, who made his professional debut this past weekend. He didn't get the result he wanted, but that fight was inspiring. He went the distance. He really represented the city of Las Cruces uh, perfectly. It was an awesome, awesome fight. So if you guys know the man, reach out to him, give him a shout out. But let's get started. The Aggies have a new sponsor, a new partner with Into the Mountain Gods. They're the first team in the conference that has like an actual partner where their jersey will have their logo on it, right? You did a little bit of research. I mean, other than the fact that we have the jersey, right? Do you know how much they're gonna give or provide? Is it per? Is there like any rules on how the money is gonna come in? Because I mean that's the new athletic director and kind of like how he's kind of approaching making more money and how we become competitive. I say become because we're struggling to be competitive, at least in football, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, no,
what'd you
I
learn?
didn't really see like cash flow or anything like that. I know it's a 3-year deal or agreement. So I don't know what kind of the specifics or the details of kind of what the end kind of gets other than advertisement, right? Being on a jersey.
Right.
Um, and we talked about too, just of like um just what that actual advertisement's going to do or be, for just the inn of the mountain gods as well in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Um, especially with Ruidoso kind of being in those kind of down times, or just trying to pick themselves up from unfortunate things, some disasters,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And so we are just it's good to see New Mexico helping New Mexico with that. um but again, 3-year agreement, right? You have it on the screen there. It's on the men's basketball, the women's basketball jerseys, volleyball jerseys, baseball jerseys, and of course the softball uniforms for New Mexico State.
That looks pretty dope, man. I like that.
I do. I like the icon. The Inn of the Mountain Gods definitely knows how to distribute their logo for sure.
They got good branding for sure.
Yes.
But you're right. There's been a bunch of it's almost like they're both helping each other out because there's like you said, the disasters, the rains, the fires, unfortunately at the same time sometimes, but also the racetrack that they're losing because of the flooding and issues with that. So um, if you're an Aggie fan, it's like you're connected there where it's like, hey, we can make it a full experience where you can go to a football game on a Saturday, but come up on a Thursday or something and go to Redoso and check out all the stuff that they have there, and then come watch a football game. So I'm curious to know what the how that relationship will kind of continue and like what kind of activities they do together. That'll be
Right.
cool.
And even after these 3 years of, maybe someone else coming in, some other big company that wants to kind of get in, their skin in the game with just, being on college jersey, just to have that landmark as well.
Yeah, that'll be neat. I'm excited to see. where it goes. And actually, speaking of the football team, I was again. I'm trying to play at least once a week, and I played a lot better this time. I saw some guys had kind of shanked their ball into the wrong fairway. You know how the back nine, you like, what is it, like 11 goes this way and then 12 you come back around, so you're right next to one another.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That 12, 13.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, 12 and 13. Yeah, 10. You're right. 10 is
Because
the
11,
start of the
11 is the
back
part
nine.
where
Yeah, then 11. So then yeah, 12 and 13. I was on 13 and some guys were playing their ball on the 13th fairway, and I was teasing him and I rolled up to him and I was like, "Hey, your fairway's over there." And they were not happy about it. I was like, "Ooh, that one didn't go well." And then
you
uh they're like, "I'm just messing with you guys. What ball are you looking for?" Because there's a desert in the middle. And so
mhm.
I got their ball and I threw it out. And when we were finishing up the round, they were finishing up too, right? So I was like, "Hey, how'd you guys finish?" And started talking to them, and it was some of the Aggie football players. So they were
Oh,
they were just going out there and hitting some balls, having fun. They're like, "We did not play good at all," but football season is back. You see them out there practicing. The lights are on when you drive by at night, so they're getting started, and some
wow.
promising stuff there for football. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the fun about, spring, of course. You just start building your pieces, seeing what pieces you're left with, and then kind of start developing that game plan, developing the plan, you know.
We'll see what Coach Sanchez draws up, man. We need to start winning, man. We did okay. I think there was a couple games where we lost that were close, where we weren't too far away from bowl eligibility. We had a missed field goal early in the season. I think it was Western Kentucky, where we could have tied it up. We were getting the momentum. So, I mean, it is what it is, and we shall see. Um, we had some baseball this past week. We played a conference series against Middle Tennessee. Let me share my screen here. We got swept, bro. Not good
Oh,
at all. We haven't found a dub in a while. We lost to Arizona State. They're ranked 22. We we lost 4-10 there, but the big one was these close losses here against Middle Tennessee. It was at Middle Tennessee, so hopefully we can come back and win that one. And I was actually trying to watch the game against the Lobos, and they announced probably like an hour and a half. It was super. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was the issue, but they postponed it. So I don't know
hmm.
if I don't even know if they will play that game because
Right.
it's not for conference or anything. So
Kind of
yeah,
weather or
I mean, it
what?
wasn't too bad. Last week was terrible. The wind was really bad last week. Friday and Saturday, the high schools were having to postpone their games. I think it was Centennial was supposed to go up to Hobbs. Someone was going to
Hmm.
go up to Hobbs, and it didn't happen. And Hobbs was going to come down here for softball, but it was nasty. But this was just yesterday, recording Wednesday, April Fools. Huh? So um, yeah, that game didn't happen. So now we have our first one of our first. I guess we hosted La Tech, but we have another home series for conference play against Delaware. That one will get started Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So a nice little weekend, a nice weekend series for us heading into Easter. It's already Easter, bro. That just the year
Yeah.
flew by. So a lot of people won't have work on Fridays, so that might be something you can go out and do. 6 o'clock, and then Saturday the game is at 11 a.m. So that one should be a lot of fun. And we got to start winning some games here. We do really good. We got some ballers. We got some ballers on the team. Got some good pitching. A lot of guys are from the area. Have been playing for a while. It's not like a lot of guys hit the transfer portal. Um, we've kind of made a name for ourselves. NMSC is a place to go because you had a bunch of these guys who played for WBC, the World Baseball Classic, and
Mm,
just on Team Mexico, we had three guys that played for NMSU. So we're well known in the baseball world. We just need to
yeah.
we're an attractive place. So hopefully we
What? So
can
what do you think? What do you think the next step is then
we need
in
to find
that?
hitting. I haven't been out. I've only watched one game, and there's always like an inning or two. I guess I'll pull up the box score. It's always an inning or two that we kind of lose. Maybe it's like finding the right guy to come in and for relief, but it's always like a big inning that we allow. Fifth inning we let three in. So I mean this one's not too terrible of a loss. But
Right.
there's always like a lopsided outing, and you're like, dang, if we would have just gotten, if we could have just controlled this one inning, we would have been good. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Yeah, see here we started off four, so the back to back every game they had 3 runs, 4 runs, and
Right.
so we kind of have we allow that big inning. We can't really control the momentum there, and that's about it from the games that I've been able to watch. That's just what happens. I wonder if balls, based on balls, is an issue for us. Uh, Trying to see in the first inning, see walked, 2 walks, a homer. That'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just managing managing your pitching and making sure you're alleviating or yeah, I guess alleviating the damage whenever there's damage being done. But I mean, we're solid. We've played some solid teams, and we'll get back into it. So we'll we still have a lot of baseball to play, man. So
Yeah.
it's not anything to panic. I mean, we play through May, and that's just the regular season. And then you have all the regionals and all the different stuff that you do throughout the summer. So plenty of time to come back. The conference tournament won't be till almost the end of May, and we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Oh, here's the reschedule. I don't know if they just added that, but we are going back to UNM. So either this was already scheduled. See that? Maybe it's already rescheduled, or we'll play a doubleheader.
Gotcha.
But April 28th, we'll go back to UNM. So yeah, man, doing well there. Softball, similar. We're getting into the flow of things. We avoided being swept. We started off the weekend really good. This one I did tune into. It was a mercy rule. So we
Yeah.
won 8-0 and then couldn't keep the momentum up for the rest of the weekend. So we dropped the last 2 games of that series. But we beat FIU in the series the week before. So last week, right after our last episode, did really good there. So we're going in the right direction. We're doing all right. Doing all right. And then we
Mm-hmm.
will be going to Jack State this weekend, and we'll be playing them 3 game series. So it's vacation. I'm sure you're off this week too, right? For Good Friday, and maybe
Yeah.
we can tune into that ESPN Plus. Easy to just go in and check it out. I like to just keep my notifications on. The ESPN app is easy. Just throw it on, and you're good to go. So that helps me at least know what the score is and kind of see how we're kind of progressing. Who's taking the lead? Do we lose a lead? So
Right.
that there is baseball and softball for y'all. Let me close some of these here. NMSU. I just pulled this up because it's hard. It's hard to pull up sometimes. The scores they're not updated or like the live stats. But these guys here are who was representing, as you mentioned last week. They're always adjusting what the right equation is, right, for who's
Right.
playing the best, whatever. So here are five guys that played at the. They're in Arizona, but it's a tournament hosted by Wyoming. I pulled up an article that didn't show the scores, but it gave an update from yesterday. They played 3 rounds. Um, Two of them the first day, and then the last day. So today is the last day that they're playing that. So that's why there's no updates yet, because this is pretty much live. But we are, again, when I tell you, bro, middle of the pack, 14 of
Yeah,
24. So one
life
under.
one. Yeah, well, not like I said last week. I mean, I think again, it just has to come together all at once, and that takes all five or at least four. Just when that fifth person kind of picking up the slack of maybe someone that that's uh having an off day, and it happens. That's for sure. Especially when it comes down to playing 36 holes in one day. You know, you never know what's going to happen that day, and then how tired or how sore your body is the next day as well.
Or how windy it is. I mean, the weather, just everything can affect
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of factors for sure in golf. There's um what's it called? Yeah, there's uh really no room for error in sometimes as well. Just you have to kind of adjust and kind of go from there.
The women aren't playing until next week, so they're off and kind of getting ready. Um, I saw one of the girls out there playing. She was by herself. She was playing around, and we let her pass through. And uh, you know, there's only so much you can do. Just go out there and just kind of work on your swing. A lot of times, they're just out on the range getting ready. So, no updates for women's golf, but we do have some high school golf. I know you guys just went to NM Tech to play at their golf course. That's where the state tournament will be held, right? How did that go?
Right. So yeah, we had our NMS or New Mexico state preview for 4A. Good teams. You have Academy in there. You have Lovington. Definitely have some good golfers on the men's side, and as well on the women's side as well. So, Academy Lovington, they're you know cities or towns that or schools that are have prepared very well to get ready for that tournament too. Honestly, I think everyone had their struggles. I don't think many of them had played that course very often, you know, and so that was kind of a good thing for us. Our boys in here in our TJ, we ended up taking first in the men's, and then in women's we took sixth place. So again, a lot of growth for the women's side as well, but as well as the guys side as well. We had definitely had some strokes or that that we lost because of course we didn't know the course, and it was and NM Tech is definitely made and built to be a lot of course management, right? There's a lot of out of bounds, you know, and as for me, when I look at other courses that we play throughout the season, like none of the other courses have that much out of bounds, and our kids definitely were not used to it. So we took a lot of strokes there, because for the most part, when we play in our own tournaments, there's, if we have a bad shot and it goes off to the right, you know, there's not really out of bounds. Like we can still play it,
Mm,
and not take a stroke or an unplayable like that. So yeah, a lot of learning, a lot of learning curve there. Um, but yeah, but it was a beautiful day though, and definitely not hot. Um, it would definitely be hotter when we get to state, and state's about the second week of May.
mhm.
So So and that will be a 2 day, or state's always a 2 day, uh, one round per day. So it'll be fun. And I
Yeah.
don't think it was hard to walk either for our kids or for the kids as well. Definitely some elevation that you
Okay.
have to get used to as well on the course. But
Do they carry their own bag? They don't have an option.
yeah, so you got to walk in high
Okay.
school. Got to walk in high school. Our girls, they have like push carts, and you put the cart on, and you push it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Um,
ask. If you could put it on a cart. Yeah.
yeah, got our guys. They don't like to really push. They much rather just carry their golf bag and kind of just go from there. So
Yeah, wanted to give a shout out on our end down here in Cruces. We had the girls Oregon Mountain golf team. They got first in a tournament. I'll pull up here. I have Instagram
oh,
popped
I
up.
saw
Yeah, they got first. Eleanor Warden got first in the tournament. Alyssa Cerna got second. So some independent winners there. Here's a update just on Oregon Mountain and how they did. I remember you mentioning you want to stay under 300 in college. 345 is what they finished with altogether. There's, I think, five of them that played. So Eleanor and Alyssa doing great work there. And Sofia Torres, she got 12th and she 99. I mean, breaking 100, playing really well. I actually know her, good friends with her dad, and so she's always posting stuff on social media. And since she was young, they've been playing NMSU forever. So it's good to see her finally, getting out there and representing Oregon Mountain. And I mean, 12th is a good position to be in. So shout out to them and how they played. And this is how everyone else finished here at Centennial. At in Cruces, Centennial got second here, only 9 strokes back from the winners. So really a good showing from both Centennial and Oregon Mountain and Mayfield and Cruces. You know, they're out there playing, they're out there swinging, they're doing their thing. So that's awesome to see. There was a picture of the boys too, because the boys didn't do too bad either for Oregon Mountain. Let me pull it up. Now it's hard to
right,
see.
and
It's hard to
even
see the
with like
boys.
with Oregon Mountain, like it's a huge plus to, like, to live in Cruces because the state tournament for 5A is going to be at NMSU. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like that's another advantage. That's another thing, like, in golf or just in honestly in any sport, really.
yeah.
But even just to know the course and you're playing it constantly, you know, and again, home field advantage of knowing the course, every inch of it is gonna help them, in state as well.
And the nice thing is that you can just go and pay. I pay $35 at sundown to go play. So you could go
Mhm.
practice on your own if you live in town and go practice on the course that you're going to play for the state championship. Go
Yeah,
out there and grab a friend, go with your parents, whatever, and just go play the round for fun. And even that is a huge advantage that you guys won't have, right? I'm sure you guys had to take a bus or something and go down there and make it a full day. And it's just different. So with that being said, we have those high expectations around here that looks like Oregon Mountain, Centennial are two teams that are really good, and we have some high expectations, and we have a good result this year for state. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch because it's not every year that you get that. They switch it around, and this is a perfect year to take advantage of it. So hopefully they're out there playing. I saw a bus out there on Sunday. I don't know because you guys are 4A going and playing over there.
right.
So I don't know who it might have been, but it said RISD. So I don't know if that's Redoso or
That's
Roswell.
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 Okay.
hmm Yeah.
Uh,
So Roswell.
okay.
So Roswell would be the one going up. to NMSU and checking out that course as well.
Okay.
Goddard, which is in Roswell as well, they go to 4A, and so they were there at the
Okay.
state preview as well. And I'm not sure when the 5A state preview was or is, you know, and so, um, but yeah, but I'm like I said, like you have Hobbs, Roswell, of course, Carlsbad, I'm sure they're trying to get multiple trips to NMSU, so that they can study the course, And I don't, Roswell's a good team, and we play against Roswell all the time. We play against Hobbs all the time. We play against Carlsbad all the time, you know. And the coaches over there, they all do a great job, trying to compete and be competitive as well. And so um, again, it's just about getting taking time and getting out there. You know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. When's your guys' next tournament? Do you guys have one or day that you guys go out and play? How often does that happen?
So we actually have our Artesia invite next Monday for varsity, and so
Okay.
that's our next tournament. Kind of take it off this week just because of Easter and kind of
Yeah.
holidays like that.
Hmm.
We have a JV tournament tomorrow actually up in Lovington that Hobbs is hosting. So yeah, so again, like I said, it's a fast schedule, and so trying to get now that we saw the course, now you just try to build situations, for when we're at the state course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Nice. Well, let's move on to track. I wasn't able to go in the area down here was the David Nunez Invitational, and it was
mm,
hosted by Oregon Mountain. They had their senior day, and that's always special to have the kids out there with their parents and giving them flowers and different acknowledgments for the things that they've done. But I wasn't able to show up to that because uh, maybe a lot of folks listening to this might be new. We got a lot of subscribers because we did something a little bit different this weekend. I did the live streaming of the Big Time Hoops Showcase, and that, I mean, it brings in all of the top basketball players in the state. There's a lot of players from a lot of girls that are coming in from Arizona, El Paso. So it was really neat. I got to interview them, and then I did the live streaming for every game in the main gym, but it was the same time as that track meet, so I wasn't able to to go see them. I put up a post on Saturday night because one of the girls who was playing at the Big Time Hoops, she left the showcase. They're guaranteed 3 games, so she went and
mm,
played 3 games, but she also left and went to the track meet. And she
yeah,
I was like, yo, you got to be so tired. And she's like, yeah, I'm just having fun. So that was really cool to see her play, and she see her play, but also come back and be like, yeah, we won first. So they got first in the 4x400 meter race. And she plays for or runs and competes for Centennial. So I know Centennial's been doing really good as far as track. The coach out there always finding success. And so shout out to them, Oregon Mountain hosting the event. They did a good job as well. I'll pull up here some of the results. Someone that before I pull up the team, I like this feature that they have on this mile split website. You can actually go to like the elite performers and like the top performers,
yeah.
and I want to tell you about this guy. We've been talking about him a lot, but I need to remind you as you're new to the A Mountain Echo universe. Uh,
Right.
Luke Matherly. Do you know who this madman is? You need to know who he is. Remember
I
his name.
don't.
Luke Matherly is a he his main sport is football, and he is going to be going up north to one of the Dakotas to play. He's a absolute stud. He not only does he crush, already qualified for state. I think he broke a state record in discus, and in shot
Dang.
put, and he's also a power lifter and crushing records in that too. So powerlifting and track at the same time while also already committed, and it has been one of the highlights this offseason as far as signings for Centennial. So once again doing really good work there uh, in the shot put or in the discus for this one is what was highlighted. So shout out to Oregon Mountain for their time in the 4x200 meter relay, and also Oregon Mountain and Centennial in the medley relay finals there. So that's really cool that they kind of show the elite performers there. I'm assuming, I don't know what the difference between silver and gold there, but I can guarantee
Mm.
you nobody beat Luke in the discus. So maybe they did, and I apologize. We can get into it a little bit more here. But these were the teams that competed this week for that event. So
Uh-huh.
uh, I mean Deming, Gadsden, all the Cruces teams, Santa Teresa and Silver City. So Silver City coming in from the furthest. Chaparral was there.
Right.
So some good results, some good results in track, and that all of that is always at NMSU, right? Um,
Is,
I mean,
that was
not
that's that
NMSU,
was my
UNM.
question.
What's up?
Oh right, the state track meet.
Yeah,
Right. So do all the Las Cruces track meets are at the Field of Dreams,
pretty much. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's all. So every week, that's all. That's where they go is Field of Dreams.
I mean, unless
Is that
you go to
kind of
like a different school, but if it's LCPS, if it's the public schools of Las Cruces, it's going to be at the Field of Dreams,
right?
and
I'm just
that's also for softball and for baseball as well.
yeah. Well, I
You don't
mean,
like that, do you?
and again, that's it's just like you're playing at your home thing or like your home field or your home track for of course Oregon Mountain and Centennial like where are we gonna go this week? Oh, Field of Dreams. Where are we gonna go this week? Oh, Field of Dreams. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's like my wonder is just like the kids like do they feel that too? Just the repetitiveness. You know what I mean? Like obviously a track is a track.
yeah,
It's just just a different environment. But I'm assuming they go to Gatson and Gatson hosts a track meet or Deming,
yeah,
or Chaparral as well. So you have some places there too.
yeah.
But
I can imagine, especially like schools outside of Cruces or outside of Albuquerque. I mean, Albuquerque, I'm sure everyone hosts at their respective schools too, right? Um, so you kind of miss out on that, on like the travel of like going with your team somewhere and then coming back.
right,
Like the bus ride is always a great experience. Yeah, they don't get that as much, unfortunately. But they do travel around. I know they obviously are going to go up north. Yeah, and like you're right, Gadsden, they'll do a Gadsden and Chaparral. I think Deming does one too. I'm stepping out of uh,
area.
my knowledge, my area of expertise there as far as track. For me as media, it's nice because every week I know, okay, cool, Field of Dreams, and I kind of understand it, right? And you have, it's a stadium. You're essentially playing in a stadium, and you can see everything. The facilities are really nice. So, I the next time I see a kid who plays or does track or field, because at the same time, I think they go outside. I don't necessarily know where they do a lot of the different like throwing events. I know that some of like the javelin stuff is done on the field as well or off to the side. You got the long jump. So they have really nice facilities. And for practice, Centennial has great facilities. Oregon Mountain always had, at least when I was there when it was Oñate, had really good facilities. Cruces. So they all have really nice facilities, but Field of Dreams is nice enough where I'd imagine they really like it. So that's a good point. I'll try to look into that a little bit more and see what kind of conversation I get into there. Um,
Right.
but speaking of playing all in the same area or in the same complex over and over again, the baseball district season started yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. It was my first time going out there and seeing some of these guys play. I got to see Gunner, who is a commit for NMSU. He'll be pitching for the Aggies next year, and he started district for Cruces against Mayfield. So that Cruces Mayfield rivalry, uh, it I can imagine that it wasn't the start that Gunner wanted. He did load the bases up in the first inning, kind of made things a little bit stressful. I'm sorry, the second inning. There were some walks, there were some issues, um, but he was able to get out of it. He was able to really keep himself from getting an earned run, which is at the end the main thing you want to do, right? As long as you're
Right.
not getting in the score, you're doing well. But it did make his pitch count go up, which obviously is never what you want out of that situation. So, um, yeah, Gunner got started. Look at the stats on here. I'm glad I did take notes. From what I saw, he had a lot of strikeouts. He did really good. He had really good control of his off speed pitches, and he has a really nice curveball. And he just needs to make sure that that pitch is going to come off the plate out of the strike zone. And if you are behind on the count, it's not going to be as effective because they're not going to be reaching for that. And that really was the challenge for Mayfield. Uh, Brody Ochoa started the game for Mayfield yesterday, and he really got working. And the final score was 7-2, 7-2. Yeah, 7-2, and four of those runs came in the first inning. The entire lineup batted in the first inning, and what I noticed immediately is that he started the game with three walks, but he had a lot of really good movement on his pitches. But you can't. It was hard for him to be dominant because he was throwing balls. So you're going up there with these guys just saying, I'm going to make him pitch. And that's just not what his strong suit looked like. Again, this was the first game that I watched. And so, objectively looking at just this game, he was behind
Right.
on the pitch count early on. And it really made him have to throw strikes, have him throw at these guys, to these Bulldogs, and they made him pay. And it wasn't big shots. It was just they were getting the ball on the ground, and they were making Mayfield make mistakes. They were moving around, going base to base, playing it safe, and that was solid. So, um, Daniel Amato was the leadoff batter for Cruces. He got hit. It looked like he got hit in the first at bat, and he didn't take his base. Maybe it hit the bat or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what exactly happened there. It was a little bit confusing. But later on in the game, he got hit again. So he was hit a couple times, and Daniel Amato was the um, player of the year for state running back for football, obviously football. And he is another guy who is committed as well, and he's wrestled. He did well in the state tournament. So another guy who's just playing all the sports, just having a blast for his senior year. And he he would get subbed out as soon as he got, or a pinch ran as soon as he got onto second base. I don't know why you just wouldn't pull him and when he got to first, but once he got to second, they pulled him out. He's the catcher for them, so maybe that's a reason why. But he did really good. Everyone was solid, and it was just cool to get in there and get to see how these guys were playing. Just um, pitches and just watching them have fun. And speaking of having fun, the Centennial Hawks were not having as much fun as they've used to have, or they're used to having. This team will run up the score on you, and they'll do it with a smile on their face. They had a close one. They scored one late, but it was 3-2 up until the sixth inning, which was a little bit nervous. There was 3-0, then they came in. I did want to give a shout out to the relief pitcher Ralph, who came in and pitched in relief. I was going back and forth, so I don't necessarily know the exact inning that he came in to pitch, but I liked Ralph's attitude on the mound. First of all, he has a really quick pitch. His stance is kind of it's not a full it's not a he's doesn't come from a full or a half. It's kind of like half. It's a half of a half. It's like a three quarter stance that he has, but it's really quick, and so it makes you have to be ready for the pitch. And he
Right.
has really good movement on his pitches, and he's just got that swagger. There was one of the innings where after the last out, he just kind of limps off the field. He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" So I like that. I like having a little bit of attitude on the mound, and the even though it was a close game, Centennial was still having fun. They're still rooting for their guys, and it didn't feel like they were ever really in a tight game, even though they were. But I think
Right.
Alamogordo last night really put the district on notice because Centennial is the number 4 team in the state, and Alamogordo brought it to them. They were able to quiet down those bats. Centennial will put up 20 on you and without them even flinching. And they were able to really ice that and keep it competitive. And so as district approaches, I think Alamogordo is a team that Cruces, Mayfield, and Organ Mountain need to be aware of because they really showed the district that Centennial is they're human. So that was
Yeah.
cool. That was cool to see out of them. And then the one game that wasn't in town was the Oregon Mountain Gadsden game, and this game ended in 6 innings. So this was a mercy rule for Oregon Mountain. Great way to get the season or the district season started, and no home runs for them. But let's see, pitching wise, that's a 12 strikeouts. Let's go. Alex Venegas. Let's get it. 12 strikeouts. Sweet. Good for him. Is that total? What's going on here? No, that was for the game. Heck yeah. I like that. 3 hits. That's a solid outing right there. Heck yeah. So shout out to Oregon Mountain for getting that dub. So other than Mayfield, obviously someone had to give there in that area, but the city of Las Cruces putting on for baseball. That'll be really exciting. These teams will play again in double headers on Friday. So 5 and 7 o'clock again at the Field of Dreams, or I guess it is the Field of Dreams. It's right across the street from the Field of Dreams of football. It's all in that same complex. So really, all these games are home games for Mayfield too, because it's all in the
Right.
same area. And we'll get into softball, but something that was really interesting. I know you didn't know too many details, but there was some strange that happened there in Artesia yesterday. The umpire threw out everybody that was a Hobbs fan. What's the history with Hobbs and Artesia, man? Do you know a little bit about what the beef is? What's going on over
Not
there?
not not in other sports other than again I mean I don't know about beef. They're a 6A team and they're 5A
Five,
team
five.
depending on what sport or whatever, and we're 4A. And that's just what it comes down to. And of course our softball team is very competitive as well as our baseball team. And that's again, and it depends on the umpire and depends on kind of things like there too. It just I guess that's how it shook up. I'm gonna have to start asking questions and see what
Yeah.
what happened. I guess yesterday or something. So kind of have to, I'll maybe get back to you guys on that.
The game, what I had seen, it was a tweet. The game was almost over, and it wasn't necessarily very close. Not to say because Centennial won that last game with the drama, they won that one in with a pretty good lead, but Hobbs also beat them with a pretty good lead as well. So they went back and forth. So I don't know what it was, but it was late. I think there was only like one more out left, and the umpire thought it was needed to just toss everybody on the Hobbs side of things. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know. I just know about Hobbs fans, and they're very passionate about, supporting their kids, and that's, and again, sometimes it may be perceived in a wrong way or something like that, and so I guess the umpire needed to do what he thought was best for, the environment, for safety issues or whatever, the umpire wanted to do.
whatever was going
Um,
on, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. No, on our side of things, for District 5A, District 3, Centennial in a close one. This one was close. Like I said last week, Centennial has not, they're not used to losing. None of these girls. It's been 3+ years since they've had, now at this point, more than one loss. And there was a close one here in Alamogordo. And then we had Oregon Mountain hosting uh, Gadsden. They won 10-0. And then some of the girls, the softball girls, actually made their way over to the baseball fields for the end of the Cruces Mayfield baseball game. But Mayfield was able to handle some business here against Cruces. Mayfield is the only team that has beat Centennial in the last 3 years. So I am keeping an eye on Mayfield and how they're doing, because they're a team that is going to, um, you know, give give Centennial some fits. Centennial's been district champions for the longest time. They've back-to-back state championships, and Mayfield has something to say about it. So
right.
a good outing here for Mayfield as they got started with their district play. Um, any home runs? 2 home runs out of Mayfield, Dallas, and Brisa. And there was a home run from Erica Silva, who's a junior on the Cruces side. So some bombs. I like softball, man. It's cool. That it's a short porch, but they play hard. It's a fast game. I don't know if how often you go and check out softball, if any at all, but that game, there's nothing soft about that ball, and they're up close. They're up close, man. It's a they're not 90 feet away like baseball. It's a short field. It's a short
Right.
baseline, and to be an infielder, you got to be on it. So softball is a lot of fun to watch. I'll probably switch back and forth. Maybe go 5 o'clock on Friday to watch a softball game, and then go watch a baseball game after, just to catch both. But softball is going to be really exciting to keep following as district moves on here. Pitching wise, I mean, 2 runs. Yeah, this is what you're going to get. Eight runs here out of Leah, and then Ariana being able to pull off the win. Two runs earned, 6 strikeouts. Lee did have 7 strikeouts with 8 hits, as opposed to Ariana's 5 hits. So good game there. Excited to see how softball ends up. And yeah, man, powerlifting is doing some cool things. They just had an event 2 weeks ago that was really cool. They posted a bunch of stuff on social media. Um, you had some news that we forgot to bring up here. We'll wrap up with some controversy there. A team that you guys played in state has a formal complaint. Not pointing fingers. It's all innocent until proven guilty, right? But it's a conversation that always comes up about age, about eligibility of players, and um, it sounds like Highland's gotten into at least into an investigation here. Do you want to give us a quick summary on that?
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being a official complaint to the NMAA and just about player eligibility. Again, um, a lot of hearsay and things like that. Really nothing concrete or official, but again, there was official complaint just about some of the players on Highlands with eligibility. Again, does something happen? You never know with these kind of things as well. So,
And I saw on Instagram NMAA posted something just recently. This is breaking news here. NMAA is announcing that the 2026 football state championships will be held at the UNM Stadium
Oh, really? Well, I mean, that's pretty big. 20,
this year. It's also April Fool's, but
yeah, I know.
it is April Fool's. But they did post that. They did post
Yeah.
that I mean, hey man.
Hey, I don't know. There'd be a lot of hate. There'd be a lot of love for it. Just
Yeah, yeah,
it's
that was
not the
funny.
center of New Mexico. So
Jonah sent me the link. He's like, they listen to us. I don't think we're that special, but it's funny to
yeah,
see. I am almost 95% sure that that is an April Fool's joke. So,
first
um,
day of April. That's for sure.
right?
Yeah.
I saw a couple of those different posts and people saying that they're, no longer doing stuff or whatever. But that one was funny because at least they know that it would piss off a lot of people if they move the location of the state tournament. I'll
Right.
die on the hill that I think that the state tournament should be in one location for all classes, but
You just don't. There's no center. You don't have a center of New Mexico, and that's kind of hard when that's where people get lost and everything like that. So,
I don't know. I
but
don't know if Dallas is the center of Texas. There is no center, and
yeah,
that's where they
I
play.
know.
But
But there's
I
there's
don't know.
there's some different links there of a professional one of these stadiums in NFL versus you know a stadium
Still
between
pretty
UNM
nice.
and
Yeah.
NMSU. You know what I mean?
I just don't know where you would put the locker rooms. It's harder to move a locker room in football than it is basketball. All right, guys, let's get our stuff and go. You know what I mean? In football, you got a bunch of stuff, and people get hurt. They need to get taped up, and they need to go. I don't. We have beat this. What is it? Don't beat a dead horse or whatever. This horse is dead.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it is what it is. I've biggest chance is that it's just an April Fool's joke. There's no way they would even be able to make a deal like that in 1 year. So even the fact that they're like this year it's going to be here, bro. There's so many things that need to happen before that. They might make an announcement that like in 2030 the games will start to be played there.
Yeah.
You need a contract. That's a contract and an agreement and all that good stuff. But yeah, cool,
Right.
man. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Have a happy Easter. Any last words here as we wrap up, Javen?
No, I mean, like you said, just have Easter. Again, it's all about the players, all about the kids,
Yes, sir.
and shining a light on them. So, for sure.
Yeah, awesome to see it. And if there's anything we're missing, anything you need to bring up, if it's not an organized NMAA sanctioned event or whatever, and we're missing it completely, um, yeah, let us know, and we'll see y'all later.
All right, later.